Hey guys, Penguin here. Welcome back to my Road to One Dawn tutorial series where I cover the ancient Chinese game of Go, or Weiqi or Baduk. Today I'm going to I'm going to attempt to do a review of AlphaGo Zero versus AlphaGo Master. This is game 1 in their Game of 20 series that I happened to download. So black is Master, white is AlphaGo Zero. So this move is interesting. It gives white more room to develop on the bottom when black plays away like this, but at the same time, bottom becomes really contested for black, or really big for black, because if black gets an extension along the bottom, he also builds towards this left side here. Could work well with his 4/4 stone, but at the same time, if white somehow gets something on the bottom first, then it works better for white. So this becomes a very highly contested area of the board. I think it's okay for black to play like this because black does play first, so black does have a move advantage on white. Just this move makes it very clear that the bottom side is where he's looking. White plays another 4/4. This I think is standard for AlphaGo. Okay. Black plays a high 2-space extension for the corner. This does not defend the corner compared to like this move or this move or this move. This move pretty much aims at taking the left side, because no matter what white does, white's gonna jump in sometime, right? Like white's gonna come in and take this corner because this corner is just too big. It's 4th line territory if white allows black to take it. But compared to like its brother, the the low knight moves, or one of the low knight moves, it's less territorial, but it pretty much makes the strongest wall towards the left side. So no matter what white does, black's going to get a huge wall on this left side. You can even consider this a wall already. And there's not much white can really do to prevent this wall. Like, I guess white can play here and try to fight, but then black would just cover the top of it. So yeah, this is pretty much black declaring this area is black's moyo, right? And if white jumps into this area, then with this wall here, black has a lot of play already. If you assume that this 2-space wall is legit, okay. White immediately jumps into the corner. So right now, points-wise, black's got 5 points, white's got 5 points from Komi, and nothing else. Right? White, because black declared that he's going for an influence sort of a game, white is trying to take the point lead at the opening. This type of a move instantly takes a 5-point lead, or does a 5-point turnover, right? You jump in, you take 5 points, black loses the potential to take the corner and gets no points from it. That's pretty much what this move does. It steals 5 points and gives up influence, right? Since black already declared that he's taking influence, it makes this influence here, I wouldn't say heavy, but makes black kind of pot committed to taking this area, right? So white's going to take the points, and then he's going to try to figure out what to do in the middle over here. This is pretty standard Josek. Black now has Sensei, white has to live, and black takes his Moyo, right? Once black gets a move in the middle here, you can pretty much assume black's going to get at least 50% of this Moyo. Right? Before, maybe less, but once he's sectioned it off into 2 halves with a stone, he's going to get like 50% of the Moyo at least. So potentially he's got 10, 20, over here 10, 20, and plus whatever here. He's potentially got about 20 to 30 points in the bag, almost, right? That's kind of how you can read this. So if we do a quick point count right now, ignoring the potential points, right? We can say I'd give white 5 points. 5 points plus Komi. Over here, I'd give white 10 points. And I'll give black really 5 points right now, right? Black's got a lot of potential here and here, but they're not really points yet. Same with this area and this area. So right now, white's got a definite point lead, right, in terms of confirmed cash. Okay. So what's white's style? We said earlier, white's going to keep trying to keep the territory point or the territory lead, and deal with the moyo once the opening is over, right? So white casually takes another 5 points in the corner, reducing the direction that black can develop in over here, keeping the point lead. So now white's got a solid 10-point lead, right? So what's black gonna do? Black's pretty much pot committed to developing this moyo, right? But 30 points plus potentially 10 points in the corners not gonna win him the game, right? So he's gonna keep developing his sensor. And how does black do that? He jumps over here aggressively. I guess he's hoping for a wall like this, you know, to face this area, which would be fantastic. But of course, white's going to counterattack, right? We know the corner is open. AlphaGo loves to play this move here. You can either build a wall like this and then attack backwards, or you can also jump in and harass the corner, right? AlphaGo likes to do these two moves in the opening. So white, yep, it's going to jump in, counterattack. And it's similar to, this is a little similar to like playing this approach move and then playing away. Like, because there's so much weakness in the corner, there's so much space on the outside, and a lot of things to do, white can actually throw this move here, just like black approaching the 4-4 and play away, right? It's inherent to the shape of this high pincer, because there's so much play in the corner. This white stone is actually really hard to attack. So white is able to play away a lot of the time. So wait, where did black go? Oh yeah, there we go. So there's not too much black can do to this stone. And there's not a lot of potential profit to play anything here yet, right? The biggest area is now this right side. So I guess black wants to jump in and play in the big area, which makes me feel like this move wasn't very good. Since white pretty much says, I ignore you, I'm counterattacking you, and black says, I can't do anything with this right now, so I can only help defend it from a distance. It feels like this move was really loose. But that's just my gut feeling. I can't really prove it, because they're just playing Tanuki, right? But if you Tanuki, it's either A, you can't do anything about it, or B, it was a bad move, and they don't care. So yeah, black approaches the corner. Hopefully he gets something on this side, and he disrupts potentially white's building moyo on the right side. This is kind of a cool move. It's the biggest area for development, right? For white, if you look at it, he's got like this really cool shape. So he's developing really fast. At the same time, he's pressuring both of these stones. Like this dude here is pretty surrounded on all sides by white. And yeah, this is kind of a cool move, because he's not severely attacking either of black's two stones, but in one move he can make a very severe attack on both stones. So it's like a prep move. Black created two groups, and white is preparing to make one of them into a really weak group. Pretty cool. So black can't allow himself to have two weak groups, of course, so he plays the pincer here to try to settle this one of the weak groups as fast as possible. And this is Joseki. Settled. Right. White plays here, attacking this one, but we know the top side is pretty small. So And the reason why we know the top side is small is because both sides have like kind of stuck stones in here already, so there's not too much in terms of points. Like, I guess white can turn here and then he'd play extra moves, but like the fact to build a wall here takes too many moves for both sides. And if black gets out here, there's no real potential territory here because white can still sneak underneath. So there's really no big interest to play on the top side. Which is why black simply reinforces this, right? He wants to give this group another direction to run, make sure that this group isn't a weak group so it can't be between two attacks, and he just gives up this one stone. Locally, it's a lot of points for white, though. And white can start developing this top side for some points. I don't think it'll be as big as this, but he can definitely do it. Pretty good. But again, we were talking about how this area is the bigger area, right? This is the area of interest. So that's why black is focusing on his presence in this area. White gets to kill this stone in Gote, but it is what it is. I think we said earlier, if white turns here later, this whole top area becomes development now, right? Because white got one move here, if he gets a second move, then it starts becoming a development area again for white, right? At the same time, it also potentially could weaken this area, right? And all of black's points and black's win condition is to do something with this area. If white gets too strong on this top side, it really hurts his ability to develop here. So black wants to immediately address this weakness, so he starts attacking again. Boom. This 3-stone wall turned into a 4-stone wall in Sente. Turns into a 5-stone wall in Sente. And now this development area is kind of bad now, right? Like white has a whole Poniki here. Like he's gonna do, what's he gonna do? Take what, 10, 15, max 20 points by developing this? It's no longer worthwhile for this area to be developed, right? But in exchange, black got a really, really strong wall to the left side, which is where his win condition is. So this whole sequence looks pretty good for black. And he got all of it in Sente. Black now continues to develop this left area. I think white's about to have to jump in here soon because if black seals this off, I think the game is just over. Okay, that's a weird move. So white's still just trying to settle here. There's definitely a weakness at, weaknesses between here and here, and still in the corner. There's definitely a weakness in the corner still. So, and then I guess white can just straight up invade here because it's a high stone and there's a weakness here. So let's point out the weaknesses, I suppose. You have a weakness around here. You've got a weakness around here. You've got a weakness here. You've got a weakness here. Right? That's a lot of potential moves for, and then technically, I suppose you've got a running direction over here as well. There is actually a lot of play for white in this Moyo, which is why he's still strengthening the outside, right? If this group becomes a weak group, there's no way this invasion can happen. But if everything on the outside, where white is strong, then he's got a chance to play and take advantage of all of those weaknesses. And just remember, guys, the goal is you want to make sure you have no weaknesses in order when you want to start fighting, right? Now that's talking about this Moyo here. The other thing is, remember, we got this dude over here, and this area that white is now building up, right? So black's also going to contest that. Like white can threaten to build a huge area here and use that to jump in, and vice versa. He can jump in and threaten to take this whole territory, right? I mean, it's just one or the other. It's a trade. So black, I guess, wants to get a little bit closer to connecting to this group is how I look at it. Like, if you draw a line, he can connect to this now, right? So he's definitely got an easier running direction. Like, say he wants to play like here or something, right? Guaranteed connection and heading in the direction to connect to this strong black group over here. So that's how I read this, because otherwise it doesn't really do anything except make white stronger. I feel like it's aiming to have an easy line of sight to connect to this. Like if they just both went up, boom, black would connect to this other black group, right? Okay. Giving these two stones another direction, helping to block off this area, and threatening these stones. Not bad. White says, I'm not giving you a weak group to play with. And black says, I am still gonna help these groups and still build up this area, but this weakness is still there. It's a bit better. Okay. White's completely solid. There's still a cutting point here for white, of course, to attack those few stones. Cool. So earlier we said that there were weaknesses, right? Around this area, around here, and now here, and then here, and here, as well as a running direction this way, right? This move kind of helps with everything, but similar to earlier how we had white play this move that it doesn't directly attack either one severely, this move here doesn't directly fix any of these weaknesses, but it strengthens all of them because he's strengthening the group in the center, right? He just has better shape. So anything that white does in its area, black hopefully will be able to outnumber white stones by an extra liberty or so, because he played an extra stone there. And white jumps into the first weakness. Black is just fixing. Second weakness. This is cool. I can only venture to say that black's playing on this side rather than this side, because this side has more weaknesses to deal with, so he's trying to attack from the side with more weaknesses, right? Like we said earlier, this thing, this thing, this thing, and then on this side there's just this one and our path to run. So I think it's easier to deal with this stuff if you just attack from the weaker side, is how I interpret this. I'm sure there's tons of reading involved here, but I'm just looking at it from a superficial, two-dan amateur perspective, that he's trying to, black is still trying to defend these weaknesses indirectly, because there's a lot. White starts to create complications, and black plays away. I don't know. I don't understand why black plays away here, but in this case, I think what we are seeing here is these two stones. The only way white can get more liberties when playing extensions, single space extensions or zero space extensions, like is to play on the ends, right? Otherwise, he's making an empty triangle, and we all know when you make an empty triangle, you lose a liberty. Right, so the only way to gain 3 liberties is to gain 2 liberties is to play at the end of the stones. Right, if you play on the side, you only gain 1 liberty, right? Let's do that example. Take a look at this group, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 liberties. If you play one more here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 liberties, so you actually gain 2 liberties when playing at the end, right? But if you play here, you had 6, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You only gain 1 liberty for playing an empty triangle. So in this case, black says, I don't want you to gain any more liberties in this direction because I'm still aiming to surround the center of the board, right? This area is big, but you're really low. If I can make this area into a wall here, you have no way in, right? Because the running direction is here, right? So this is actually a really big threat. It threatens to surround these two stones, activate this stone, and take the center again, taking away a running direction of this stone, right? If there's only one weakness here, black can easily kill it, right? There's a weakness and a running direction, so black's trying to fix the running direction issue. And of course, white says, nope, I need my running direction. And black's like, nope, I'm trying to block off your running direction. And black sacrifices this in order to block off that running direction. See? If white plays here and now he runs straight up, he runs into a black wall. Okay. White's preventing potential squeeze threats, and then black plays away probably. Black goes back and fixes this issue. This looked like a big issue, but this threat was massive. So I think that's why black played away. Because this area, this threat to kill white over here is actually humongous. Like, white can take this bottom area, but if black gets all of this, I don't know. Seems hard for white. Okay. White goes in this direction. Black seals white in. Okay. White makes a living shape now. So now these things over here is starting to turn the center into territory, or continues to turn the center into territory. Just casually taking the center, right? Whew. Oh wow, that's a nice move. So black is like, all right, I'm building. Do I want to play here and keep building? No, there's a weakness here, right? It's really hard to deal with this weakness and try to build influence in the center. So how do you build? You attack, right? White's also trying to build. So if you counterattack white and potentially take his corner, you're threatening, multiple things here, right? There's a lot of threats over here. Okay. Black says, fine, you want to take your corner? I'll seal in this white stone. So white still has this area to jump in, so it's not the end of the world, but it's looking pretty good. This moyo is starting to look pretty decent for black. Black has to do something though here, because if this wall gets cut, it's not good. Like, black does not want to be under attack while trying to build a moyo. Trying to defend it in sente. White lives. And black tries to seal white in, but I don't think this works. Yep, shit got real. So white's in. Like, doesn't work. Doesn't work, right? White's in. So black does something interesting. Black pulls back, trying to surround this whole weakness in a bigger way. He gives up points for sure, but he still got his eye on this area and this area. And some weaknesses here too, right? He's got weaknesses around here. But just one weakness is really hard to deal with when you're making moyos. That's why I don't like to play influence style, because it's like one weakness is all it takes to mess you up. Okay. White connects. Black needs to defend this side, because remember, there's cutting points here and this group is not strong yet. If all of this gets cut off, he's hosed. Okay, guarantees that this area will live now. And then now white threatens this. White knows, you know what? If I don't attack this now, I'm not going to have the chance to attack it later because this thing can still be attacked. So white jumps in to attack it. Okay, black's all fixed on top. Now white plays away. Yep. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know. This move... like, I can see that there are weaknesses everywhere. Like this stuff. I can see that there's weaknesses, but I would never be able to find this move. This move is just too elite. So I think at this point, we've entered the middle game now, right? I don't have the expertise to be able to really comment on AlphaGo's fighting because I can't read like AlphaGo, right? So I'm gonna just continue walking through the game and kind of just doing a play-by-play, but I can't really give clean analysis. And black tries to take all of this. I don't know why he's contacting this stone though. I don't know if that's necessary or not. He's like trying to just take this and run with it, but like I don't know if he can like I don't know, seal both of these stones in and take the center at the same time or something like that. Maybe he's really concerned about these weaknesses because he does have weaknesses here and he's trying to strengthen this bottom side, but I feel like if he doesn't attack these two stones as a whole, it's too weak, but that's just me. And white knows the weaknesses are here, so white's just attacking the weaknesses, black's frantically trying to fix them. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Black takes this side, which is big, but I think this is bigger, isn't it? Maybe he doesn't want this to come under attack later. Ooh. And then monster level reading here, of course. This cutting point here earlier is just really messing with black. Okay, wow. Now this group is under threat because it doesn't have enough liberties, so white is just kind of harassing it to get in. Okay, black seals these white stones in, but now white has a second entry point here, and these stones are weak now. Threatening these four stones, which means yeah, I don't know. That sequence is weird. I guess it gives him like an endgame move or two. White still pressures that cutting point. Yep. So all the weaknesses that white had earlier, now he's just using to reduce the center. Okay, threatening to kill these stones by fixing. That's good. And this other weakness that we talked about earlier. This feels really bad for black right now. White just got in everywhere. Yeah, white just got in everywhere. Okay. So just in case you guys are wondering, if black takes this, black connects here. White will play this. Because remember, black can't. Black has to defend this, right? But at the same time, if black defends this one, then this group dies. So black has to take it. And white can kill this. So black is kind of in a fix, right? Just reading issues. Black turns here, but at this point feels like the game is pretty over. Pretty ogre. Wait a minute. What? Wait, what is... What is black even... Like, what? Like, white's up by a ton right now. And I don't see anywhere black can really come back. So I'm pretty sure this is game over right here. But I guess this is more AI stuff going on. And the game just keeps going, but pretty sure this is game over right here. So anyway, I'm probably gonna stop my review right here because there's not too much left for me to talk about. Yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace.